Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of the Capes and Lunatics. It's me, Phil, Lilith is here, and this time we have another special guest. We have Gary, who's going to tell us all about the newest Batman movie coming out soon, Batman Soul of Gotham. So, Gary, introduce yourself and tell everyone how Batman Soul of Gotham came about, what it's going to be all about, and...
All right, well, first, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Lilith, for having me on. Batman Soul of Gotham is actually a fan film that we've sort of concocted in the back of our heads for here at Rise Star Stunt Team. So primarily what we do is we're part of the film industry as a, stunt team. We've worked on films such as like Shang-Chi, Lone Ranger with Disney. We got a lot of, small indies. If you guys know anything about Sharknado, we work with that studio, like at least 3 or 4 different movies. We did Ape vs. Monster, 2 westerns with them. I know, really weird, but surprisingly good on Tubi. But we were like, hey, let's make a Batman film. We're like, well, there is a couple, and like we just started arguing amongst ourselves, saying, what's the best Batman film out there, and who had the best action? Most of us agree that Batman vs. Superman, best fight scene ever, was in the one warehouse. But then we're like, is that it? I'm like, is that really it? And we just start tearing it all apart, and we realized Batman never really got the fight scenes and the world that it really deserved, not at least on the big screen. And we're just like, well, shit, why not? Let's go, guys. So, we start chucking that idea around, and next thing we know, they're saying, hey, okay, so Gary, since this is your brainchild, good luck, bud. I'm like, what? So I got tasked with writing up the entire script.
Oh, wow.
It's sitting at about like 35 to 45 minutes-ish. So it's, like a TV movie length. When I started writing it, I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out the cast. This is, crap. And then I had a buddy of mine hit me up and was like, hey, you know who Kevin Porter is? I'm like, well, yeah, who doesn't know who Kevin Porter is? Like, literally one of the best Batman on the internet out there, hands down, right, guys?
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah.
So I hit him up, and me and him are talking. He's like, look, I've done a ton of Batman stuff, a ton of Bruce Wayne stuff. I really want something that's different. I'm like, well, I was wondering if you want to be Thomas Wayne. And he just gets really quiet. He's like, okay, you have my full and my attention. And I send him the script, and he's like, all right, I'm in. I'm like, that's it? No haggle, no argument, no. He's like, no. This is solid. I want in. I'm like, all right, we got ourselves a Thomas Wayne. Then I had worked with another actor. He goes by Kevin Caliber. That's his screen name. And this guy is jacked as hell and about 6'1", fresh, looks like he came out of Marines just fresh. I mean, so he's just perfect condition. And I think I sent you a picture of him, Phil. So he's the one with the barbells working out.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, do you want to be a Batman? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I could believe those two being an older pair. I'm like, okay, well, do I have to worry about anything? He's like, no, I got you. Takes a look at the script. He hits me. I was like, okay, you better do me justice in this fight, because I'm not doing this unless it has a great fight. I'm like, all right, we got you. But yeah, that's how we got our two main leads. Then, because of my background in martial arts, I know a lot of, other people in the industry. Are you guys a fan of old school Hong Kong films?
A little bit. I know.
Like Bruce Lee era, Sammo Hung era.
Yeah.
Well, one of my kung fu uncles, that's someone who's in the lineage of martial arts, he's somewhat related to us, but not exactly. His name is Robert Samuels. He's Sammo Hung's protege, and he's agreed to jump on as Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, nice.
In the martial art and Hong Kong history, he's really significant because he's the first African American male to make it on the big screen. So anytime you watch like any of this old Sammo Hungs, you see the big black guy that fights up there. That's Robert Samuels, and he's pretty much just jumped on because he's like, yeah, you sent your ass, nephew. I'm going to help you out. I'm like, sweet.
Wow. So I mean, a stunt team. The action's going to be good. I mean, you're the guys. You all make all the A-listers look good. Because everyone just forgets that there's people behind the scenes doing all this and. But it's
at least recognized too a lot of times.
Exactly.
At least up until recent years, I'd say. I mean, most people like if you were like into that Arrowverse, probably like James Manford probably comes to mind. People like that now, but like before, forget about it.
Yeah,
so it's good to see action people coming up and making their bones because you guys are a very important backbone of the industry,
especially like a superhero genre. Yeah,
surprisingly, we're one of the first things they get forgetting in the budget.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Like, the very first thing, like, anytime when we're working on any project, the very first parts that get cut is us. And the directors, producers, and everyone else gets in the head, they're like, oh, we'll just fake it this way, or we'll do it this way, and we're...
But you still need a coordinator. You still need to sign off for, like, insurance purposes and things like that. So, yeah,
exactly.
Like, the suits get ahead of themselves, and then you guys have to come back in and bring them down. So, I've been very familiar with those kind of conversations back in the day, so...
It's just so maddening. It's like, guys, we could have, like, avoided half of this, done this already. Why are we here? But yeah, no, it's that. But yeah, so that's how we got started on that one. And then I reached out to a friend of a friend who recommended me for a costumer out in Washington. His Facebook page is Super Suits, and he's currently designing every one of the costumes for us custom. So we are in control of it. We are everything else. So we're combining some of the best elements and making it work. So that's another thing that has driven me up the wall. I'm not sure about you guys. Some of the bat costumes just look atrocious.
Yeah. It's hard to translate into live action. Yeah. Like either the ears are too pointy, the cape doesn't flow right, or it's too bulky. Yeah, totally.
Oh, come on, let's not forget the most infamous one, bat nipples.
Yes. Yes.
Don't forget the cod piece. People always forget the cod piece.
Oh my god,
that was more offensive for me.
Look, this is not even a knock on George Clooney. I mean, he was a great actor and he did a great job of playing it, but they did not do him any good with that costume.
No.
And it's the excuse of, it's camp, but it didn't really translate to live action very well. Like it was a little too blue when I don't think that's the way that they were trending. But, it could be
But at
worse.
the same time, though, Arnold did a great job as Mr. Freeze. Let's be honest here.
Yes.
All the one-liners was great.
Nice to meet you. Yes.
Freeze. But yeah, no, so we got all that. If you've been following our Facebook page, we just did our first version 1 unboxing of the Nightwing suit.
Oh, I saw that, yes.
And we decided to go retro with that. So he's got the new Batman in the animated series look with the long hair, the bat suit with a little gold trim. So we decided to try that out. We just did our first test and teaser footage. We just got finished editing that. We're probably going to be putting that up live actually tomorrow on either on our Facebook page and on our Kickstarter, so people can see it and see what we're capable of. But we found out there was a couple issues with that. Spandex and all that looks great in camera for still photos, not for movement. So
the Spider-Man conundrum.
Yep. But our biggest thing was we wanted to see how much the armor, because it's all built up on the chest, his here and everything else, and see where it would hinder him in terms of this. Our Nightwing, his name is Diego Martinez. He's a former Marine who turned Tricker. So do you guys know what that term is, Tricker?
I don't.
So that's that's a terminology that is within the martial art community and within the filming industry, where it's these guys who will do martial-esque movements, but they're doing like 540 kicks, 360 spins, jumping through the air, flipping.
Oh, the Jean-Claude Van Damme effect. Gotcha.
No, not quite Jean-Claude Van Damme. He wishes he was on that level. This is the. Have you guys seen the movie Ninja Assassin?
Yes.
That.
Oh. Okay.
So these guys are doing that without wires, without it. This is purely on their own merit and skill. So Diego leads a team out in New Mexico of just trickers. So he's, the guy. So we were like, okay, this thing's gotta be lightweight. It's gotta be, gotta be able to move with him, twist with him, because he's had a couple other suits that he's tried on. He'll do a jump with a 360 twist, tears right through the pants. We're like, yep, next. Or he'll do one where he'll throw his arms a little bit too fast in the spin one here, tears right all the way down here. Like, yep, wow. Next. Great news is the Gavin Moore, who the owner of Super Suits, his suit made it. No tears, no nothing, but it was so bulky up on top that he couldn't do he wanted to do something called TDR, which he was basically would flip over, handstand, and then kick up almost in all one simultaneous motion. He can't do it because he's all bulked out here and he couldn't bend that arm. So we're like, okay, we called Gavin up, let him know some of the issues. He's like, don't worry, we got version 2 already on the way. I'm like, already? He's like, yeah, already.
I think universally, almost to a T, people, if you say, oh yeah, it's something Batman, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I want to work on that. Let me help you with that, or let me do that. It's the majority of people, I think, are excited for a Batman thing.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, he's designing a total of 16 costumes for us.
Wow.
One for Thomas Wayne, one for Batman.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people in this.
Nightwing, Robin. Well, you can't forget the core family. That's the thing. Yeah. So for them, and then of course Lincoln March. So if you guys are comic book fans, you know who he is. I haven't revealed anyone really on that level publicly, but he's got something special made just for him.
Oh, wow. And
then, of course, we're going to include the Court of Owls, and we're having my entire stunt team being, basically all the talents in that. So they're running around, flipping, fighting. So it's going to be a truly big battle.
Oh, wow. I cannot wait to see this. I mean, again, stunt people doing this, it's going to look beautiful. And, do you think, have you found different ways to shoot this because you and your whole team are more into have been into the physicality of it, so it's like you kind of know that world more than like your average director?
So the biggest thing is we need a action DP, and that's an actual director of filmography or photography, or cinematographer, and he just specializes nothing but the action, and that is something I learned in my stint out in Hong Kong. Was that you need someone who knows how to film action, because if not, it's just going to be this super choppy, boring fight that is just what we all got, essentially grew up in, I don't want to say in the mid-2000s we all saw, and it was just not that exciting. They try to spice it up with shaky cam in the Bourne series, or the super fast cuts in Taken. It's just unexciting. It's dull. You can't make out what they're doing. Do you guys remember the... what was it? Some of the, like the YouTube fight scenes where the camera just stays on them, it doesn't move, and it's all cut, and it's another random movement.
Yeah.
That's because and it's not a knock against that, those guys with cameras. It's just that they don't understand how to move and create the stack and everything else. And there's just an art to it. For our team, we brought in Mike Lee. He's a amazing cinematographer out in Vegas. I've worked with him a total of, at this point, I actually lost count. I mean, it's sort of nuts. But he knows how to, he's not afraid of getting right up in there with the action with us. And so he's willing to, him with a full-on rig will come right in as the guy's throwing a punch, dodge out in the last second. So you see this whole zoom effect with the punch that he's created on his own without the use of CG. Wow. So it's really amazing.
Nice.
So
practical. That's what we've been missing for a while. So.
Yes.
So, I mean, now that you brought that up, I am a total fan of CG. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but it's got its time and place, For me, it's a thing of CG should be used to enhance the practical effect, not
in place of,
not do the whole thing,
So we're doing all those fights. We've been planning a lot of it out. it's just been a glorious undertaking. I mean, I love it, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have not slept a proper night's sleep between figuring out the fight choreography and trying to raise the rest of the funds for the entire film. And that has just been absolutely maddening to me.
Yeah, Kickstarter's its own beast.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm a stunt coordinator. That's what I do for a trade. If you want me to figure out how to have your lead actor drive a car while fighting 50 ninjas, going over a ledge while being set on fire with guns, I got you. That's easy. Give me a night. I'll look at this. That's no problem. Have me raise money in a Kickstarter and try to. I'm just like, I'm lost, guys. I don't know this. This is not my world, but I'm trying my best because, this is the action. This is the Batman film that we deserve. It's been a while since we saw something in this type of vein of action that we all can be like, yeah, this is what it is. And like I said, not to knock on the Batman, that was more of a crime noir than it was an action Batman, which is, that's great. That's it's a very different field event, but we all want to see Batman kick the living crap out of someone like an absolute tank, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I mean, is that like a more modern thing where like a lot of these superhero things, like where they, especially a Batman, where they shoot it in the dark? So are they trying to cover where it's like, okay, we're, just where some of the action may not lacking, but just maybe like we were talking about, maybe covering some of the CG and stuff and just.
I mean, I have my own personal theories on that. I can't speak for them because I wasn't on that set. A lot of times, it's a cut between wanting the actors to do it, then wanting and then to being hindered by the suit, and then hindered by time. And when you have those three combinations, it's just a bad combo. Because if you look at the suit that like with Ben Affleck, where I can only imagine how heavy and how hot and just how uncomfortable that is. And even fighting, even if you're at top strength and top speed, you maybe got 2, 3, 4 takes in you tops before you're just exhausted. And then, of course, again, you needed the good cinematographer to know how to punch in those angles and do that again and again to find that right take and the right stack. Then, if you're having stunt guys out there, these guys are, throwing themselves on the ground repeatedly again and again. Do you remember that one scene in the warehouse fight? Batman comes up, boom, hits the guy, and it hits a scorpion, hits down, and you see his neck crunch.
Yeah.
Would you imagine being that guy throwing herself again and again just to get into that?
Oh, yeah.
So I can understand what them like, hey, let's shade this out, let's do this, because it was hard. The other problem that I personally experienced when I'm working on projects is editors. Because some of the editors are not on set with us, they don't know what this action looks like, so they'll get this, this gigantic file full of 200-300 videos of different takes, and they're like, okay, make something work, and they're just like, all right, and sometimes it turns out really amazing, and sometimes we're just like, not quite.
Okay, I mean, all right, I have to ask because it sounds like you have the action down and it's going to look beautiful. Batman, I think we've been lacking in the movies. We really haven't seen a lot of, or you're going to have some detective work because that's what we're always looking for, Batman being a detective.
Well, Court of Owls usually means
yeah. So
okay,
that's a good
I'm going to talk a little bit about the story, but I'm going to have to delete
Don't
Don't
think
give it away,
but yes or no would suffice.
So the story that we've crafted is not so much I understand that you guys want the time. There is a little bit there because we have the mystery of Lincoln March.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That we actually don't. I don't have to reveal any of that until like midway through, as you saw. So that's a complete mystery. But the biggest thing that I really want to touch on story wise is something again that we are lacking in almost all the movies. His interaction with the Bat family, his interaction with his views on justice. We get him with the sense of vengeance all the time. I mean, come on. The entire thing of the Batman was him going around screaming, I am vengeance.
Yes. But then I like that you, in the pitch you have, it's like justice, vengeance, tyranny, because it's all a very fine line between those three things.
So here's the thing. Those are three different things.
Oh.
So...
Well, could you have father, sons, and brothers? Maybe does that tie into it?
So here's how it's going to work. So if you know who's who, it makes sense. If you don't, it's going to be a little tricky. But I'm going to try my best without revealing too much. So it's the three things. It's it's justice, vengeance, tyranny. Justice is Batman's way of doing things. So the team up on that one is Batman and Nightwing, who's got to face off against Red Hood and Thomas Wayne, who is very much motivated by vengeance. Because if you know their storyline, know how they operate, know what they're doing, their entire goal is just to kill every villain, every evildoer as a punishment. Versus Batman doesn't want necessarily, he doesn't want to punish them, but he doesn't want to do it to that degree. It's all about justice, being fair and equal to a degree. I mean, we've seen it in comics many times. He's the first one to bust up a goon's face, but at the same time, he'll turn around as Bruce Wayne and give that guy a job and help him get him out of the slump he was in. So that's those two. Then we have Tyranny. Damian Wayne is a little shit stain of a Robin, and we all love him for that. I'm not sure if I can say that, but I just did, so there you are. But if you look at him, the kid's got a little maniacal, egomaniac thing going on there too. He's got to be in absolute control of everything. So his team up is with him and the Court of Owls. So that's where Tyranny comes into play.
Okay.
Because of Robin's background of being raised by Ra's al Ghul, he knows how to run an army. He knows how to run a League of Assassins. Imagine one of those under his control to control all of Gotham in his way. We remember, what was it? Batman Special 666, where it's a future shot with Damian Wayne as Batman. Mm-hmm. And he's literally created Gotham into a hellscape where he is in total control of everything. I decided to take that take on that and apply it to him in his more formative years growing up and given this opportunity to have an army like Court of Owls at his fingertips. So we have
sounds so interesting.
I know.
So we have those three fights. So we literally have, father and son. We have brothers facing up again. We have all this at the core of it, also while trying to address some of the interplay between Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, because that's also really important that a lot of people just forget where they all fall into that spectrum. How does Nightwing really view Damian? How does Nightwing really view Red Hood? How does Red Hood view himself against the others? And we already know how Damian views everyone, which is everyone is beneath me because I am the true heir of the Batman, And it's just, I want to give that feel because we haven't seen that. And the closest we have to that is what? Super Sons? The little animated one? Mm-hmm. That cool, but that wasn't really about anyone else but Damian. Okay. We barely saw a hint of that in Under the Red Hood, which, by the way, amazing animated movie, but we don't really see much else. So
because even the animated, they only ever show us like one, maybe two Robins at a time. They don't. You're really going in depth here.
Well, Bad Blood. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
So if you haven't noticed, I'm really, really much a Batman nerd. Like I can probably cite you almost most of the lore off the top of my head. So I want to integrate that. I want to show that. I want to do justice for, like I said, all of us fans and give us the action, but explore a different storyline other than the normal Batman stories. I'm sorry. Joker's a great character. Overplayed, overdone. Bane's a great character, but he's a boss fight, not a character, You got to build for him. Riddler, great character. But again, that's very cerebral, and that gets dull and dry really fast if you're not careful. Unless you're Jim Carrey, then you just made him a great, zany, fun guy.
Well, that was what makes Court of Owls such a great,
because they can do both
foil for Bruce Wayne because he has such influence and power and so it's like on that other side, it's like guess who's been running things for centuries.
Yep. So we're gonna have that on top of everything else. The storyline is more or less, Batman's got to navigate between realizing that his city's not really his city. He's got to deal with his displaced timeline dad, and then also deal with his sons also duking it out, and then everything with the Court of Owls in between. And basically trying to navigate that and trying to make sure no one actually really gets killed, which is a very hard and fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw the cast list. I'm like, I see Thomas Wayne, I see Court of Owls and Lincoln March. I'm like, okay, this guy knows his comics. Okay, thank God.
But the title, that's the thing that intrigues me the most.
Yes.
Did that just how did you come up with the title? Is it just because, did you come up with the title first, or just did it come to you as you were working on it?
A bit of mix of both. We're just, as you remember, we were talking about just creating a fight scene first, and that's where it was really, and we're just playing with wouldn't it be cool game, we all do that about who facing who and what. Well, as us as stunt guys, we can actually just do it. So we're like, okay, well, what if this guy did this? What if this guy did this? ooh, what's the reference? And then we start breaking down like, ooh. And then, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that'd be really cool. We did it this way. And I just started thinking on, wow, this is like a really good contrasting fight style, because if you look at the way like all three of them fight, it's so different, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so that just started intriguing me. And then as I started writing it, I realized it was really a fight for the soul of Gotham, because if it goes into the way of Red Hood and Thomas Wayne, could you imagine how terrifying that world that Gotham would really be? Like, it would just be nothing but a bloodbath, like legitimately. And where is it going too far? Is like, all of a sudden, is it loitering now? Is it going to get you killed? Jaywalkers going to get you? Are you going to get profiled and get you killed? I mean, that is a terrifying world, especially when you have characters like Red Hood and Thomas Wayne being the head of it. I mean, so that's very much that vengeance aspect. Or tyranny. Could you imagine an entire Gotham oppressed by the Court of Owls, which we nearly saw in the comics? But imagine you walking down, also it hits at the 8 o'clock. You gotta get back in, or the towns are coming after you. That absolute control because of Damian Wayne of everything has to be perfect. Or are we going with how Batman's trying to dispense justice as best he can, where there is a hope? Batman may be all doom and gloom, but at the end of the day, he's a character that inspires hope in people, knowing that there's something better on the other side. So that's where Soul of Gotham comes into play. It's literally a fight for the soul of Gotham. Whose way are we going to become? Who's going to take up the mantle and protect the rest of Gotham? Or damn it, if you will.
You're pushing all the right buttons here. This is, I can't wait.
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. Like I said, the only thing that's hindering me right now is the final cost. I've talked to every one of our departments. We're pretty much agreeing on everything. And on top of this, we got some really cool things happening on the sideline if we get it done. And for me, it's more of a win versus an if at this point. We have 7 conventions agreeing to host and premiere us.
Oh, nice.
The 2 biggest ones that I'm really proud to be with is Bell County Comic Con out in Texas, West Texas Comic Con, and the Albuquerque Comic Con, and the there's another one that's run out there, Duke City Comic Con. Those 4 have already given us, I've worked with those guys before. They're great. They're absolutely amazing. They're giving us tables, booths on top of a hall to film this, to premiere this in. That's for you. That's for you fans. That's literally for you guys. So you get it. So when it's premiering, you get to go to the one place that it's all this. And part of the deals is, bringing on some of the cast as guests, so you guys get to actually finally meet Kevin Porter. Let's be honest, that guy has been so freaking elusive for us fans, hasn't he? At least meeting him and taking pictures with him. So we get to have that.
Wow. But I mean, we'll do this again at the end, but yeah, tell more people about the Kickstarter. Where can they find this?
Right now the Kickstarter is, you can find it on our Facebook page, Batman Soul of Gotham. It's right there on its websites, or you can just look up on Kickstarter Batman Soul of Gotham. We're asking, I know it's a big ask, but it's $15,000. We're about 8% there, but again, this money will literally pay for everything from our costumes, our hotels, our travel, our food, the insurance. Let's not even touch so much of that as the insurance money. And then this is just me working in this industry. It does give us a little bit of pay for everyone, because everyone's going to be busting their asses here for this fan film. And for people who don't know how fan films are, we don't make any money off of this. We can't. According to the law, this is someone else's IP. So we're prohibited from making money. So if I can make sure there's a little bit of something to give back to my people who are willing to help us out, I'm going to do that. But it means that most of us are working at a loss here. If you're a part of SAG and a SAG Screen Actors Guild, your day take is 1,000 something. That's what it is roughly. When you're doing a indie film, that jumps down to about maybe a couple hundred negotiable. If you're doing a fan film, it's, whatever that you can get. And that's where we're at. And that's part of the reason why I want to make sure we can fulfill the 15,000. Because I want to make sure to give back to everyone who's helped out on this, making sure that the costumes are on point, making sure the locations are on point, making sure everyone's well fed, they're well traveled. Because I don't want to have, Kevin Porter flying out on his dime, staying out on his dime. That's not right. You don't do that when it's someone who is helping you out with a project and not asking for anything in return,
Mm-hmm.
So that's where all that's going.
And again, I mean, it's just, the skill, and it's like, that is wear and tear on the body. I mean, the stunt work, I'm sure it's fun, but it's.
So, do you want to hear a little funny story that we had literally 2 nights ago?
Oh, yeah.
So, we were filming the teaser for the fight sequence while we're testing out the Nightwing suit. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of, we're about, oh my God, I think the last 2 scenes that we're filming. And we have we have our Nightwing, he's there, he's moving. And one of the specialty things is he's got to fight a guy, one of our guys, who's 6'7". This guy is over 300 pounds, and he's got to do it. In the middle of the fight, our Nightwing shoulder gets dislocated.
Oh.
Ooh.
And he goes down. We're like, oh my God, what do we do? And he just looks up, like, did you get the take? Did you get the take? And we're just like, screw the take. How are you? How are you? He's like, it's not too bad. So I'm like, okay, we're going to cut this for a quick second. Let's take a break, 5 minutes here. Check on his shoulder. We're lucky that nothing was torn. It was just a nasty little pop. We got back in, and the guy's such a trooper. I mean, you want to talk about tough? This guy, this picture pops it back in, massages it out, puts the suit back on, and goes, all right, let's go, guys. I'm just like, what?
Wow.
What?
That's a real superhero there.
I'm just looking, I'm like, are you serious? He's like, look, man, I got enough adrenaline going in me. This is a great take. We got this. Let's make this work, guys. Let's make this work. I'm like, okay. But if it screws up, if it's hurting, here's a contingency plan. We're not going to do the finisher here. We're not going to do this here. We're going to do this instead. And he's like, don't worry about it. I got this. Guy goes up, pulls a Tony Jaa move. And I'm not afraid to say this, so wait till you see them. Guy climbs up, a guy who's 6'7", elbow drops him, lands it, and hits a stance. I'm just like, what? How's your shoulder? Got you, bro. I'm just like, wow. I'm like, damn. And then later we're doing, a specialty insert shot. Do you know that terminology, a specialty shot? That's where it's part of the fight sequence, but it's that super close up or just a unique shot. So like when you see, like, again, referring to Batman vs. that one punch where he hits, the guy goes down and cracks it over. That's its own separate shot away from the fight, but then later inserted in to create this PBR for a flow. So we have to do an insert of a guy who is going to get kicked up. So imagine a sweep, guy floats in the air, and then he does a jump kick and lands that right into the center of his gut.
Oh, jeez.
All this in one motion. And here's the thing. We did this without wires. This was nothing but pure skill from our Nightwing, Diego Martinez. He did that off of pure skill. Wow. And lands the kick. Well, we're doing the first take, and we're like, this looks a little weak. We're doing a second take, it looks weak. And he just gets like, all right, let me just rip this. Goes, and next thing we know, he's sitting there holding his arm like, yep, we good. I'm like, did you just locate it again? He's like, yeah, threw it too hard there. He had thrown the kick so hard and so fast that he popped his own shoulder out from just the sheer speed. Oh. We're sitting here like, oh my God, again? His partner who's taking the beating, like he's getting kicked in the gut, he like pops up like, are you okay? I'm like, dude, you've been kicked like 5 or 6 times. We should be asking you. He's like, no, don't worry about me. We gotta check your shoulder. We go down again for like another 2-3 minutes. And I'm like, do you need to take a break? Do you need a longer? He's like, nope. Let's get 2 more and we're good. I'm like, bro, are you sure? Yeah. This is for the best. I want, and his dedication is he wants to give everyone the best he can give.
Ladies and gentlemen, support this Kickstarter. I mean, this isn't fiction anymore. This is a real life superhero fight. So yeah.
So yeah, we have that. Then we have our other guy, Zane Barber, who's playing Red Hood. Now that guy, oh my God! Right before we started doing little test shots with him, guy breaks his finger from another stunt, just working out on the day of. I'm like, I call him like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I just can't bend my finger. I'm like, what do you mean? He holds his hand up and does this. This is the best I got, bro. I'm just like, oh my God, is this a nightmare? Or is this what's going on? 2 days later, he's like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm like, what? No. He's like, no, I got you. I can make this work. Gets the gloves on, gets everything, gets suited up. We start doing test footage, and he's like, okay, hold up. I think I cricked my finger again. Goes on the corner, does this. Okay, let's keep going. I'm like, all right, let's go.
So is this like normal, like stunt, injuries for stunt people on like movie sets, or are these guys just like throwing themselves 110% into this thing?
more that one.
Okay.
So, like, my job as a stunt coordinator is absolute safety. So I normally don't tolerate a lot of, accidents. My track record has been fairly good. The worst injury I think I've gotten is a bloody nose, a black eye, and one guy, Diego, popped out his shoulder on a set. Nothing too bad. Just those, because, like, I get really meticulous. I sit there, I go over the fight scene again and again and again because I just want that perfection and I want that safety. So most of us are very, inclined to think of our well-being, our everything, because that's, like you said, it's wear and tear on our body. We only have this much time left before our bodies start giving out. So we have to really take care of it. So a lot of us stunt folks, we don't go our way to get each other hurt. We try our best. These two are just trying to prove that they can do the job because they're just so passionate about this project. In all honesty, like, Zane is primarily an actor first, but he does stunts, with us. He does fight recreations. He does swords. I mean, if you go to his YouTube channel, mainly Malarkey, you see him produce a whole bunch of things that he does. Like, that guy's physical. I mean, he's willing to put on like 20 pounds of armor, like metal armor, and swing a sword. So he's one of those guys that's just tough as nails and goes like, yep, we're doing this, and we're doing this the right way. Diego, I mean, come on. Former Marines turned into actor / stuntman. So for him, his danger threshold and pain threshold is just a little off from us. Like, I find myself like looking at him like, guys, don't get hurt, please, safety first. And both of them will be like, gotcha, boss. I'm just like, oh God.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know this is a fan film, but like on a regular like Hollywood film, I mean, I don't think those guys are getting paid. Well, I don't know what they get paid, but I'm sure it's probably not enough.
Honestly, man, we get paid the same rate as your day actor does, which is about $1,070. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why the strike with SAG. And I don't want to make it political, but just a quick drop in on this. That's why this strike is so important for us, not just as actors and performers, but also as stunt people, because it's going to give us equal and better pay. Like, part of the things, if you look under the first contract that the AMPP struck, they actually struck out, they said no to giving the coordinators time to pack up and clean up and they actually said no, there's no extra time given. In all actuality, most stunt coordinators are actually paid less than your stunt performers. I mean, if you look at their cost, but that's usually on a much lower scale. If you get to your super high scale ones, that's a different story because, they can afford that. Marvel has the money for that. But most times, man, we're making do what we can. We're jumping from job to job. It's, it's not an easy lifestyle, So I'm all for, support of SAG. I really hope this, there's a better deal that works out for all of us. I really do. And
we all do.
Oh yeah.
And, they're still going strong and they're not willing to cave in is great.
But I mean, that's the other thing we need to highlight on this episode here. It's like, I mean, writers and the actors, again, very important, but they're the ones getting the headlines. It's like, oh yeah, we need to strike a deal. I mean, the stunt coordinators, the stunt performers, these people need this too. So
everybody from the camera, everybody. Like,
I mean, I'm really happy to hear that. What was it? The mocap industry has also decided to join in the fight.
Oh, nice.
Because it's only a matter of time. Did you hear the story about how one of the stunt actors got his face scanned, did the whole thing, then for one job, then turned around a week later, 2 weeks later, gets a call from his buddy, say, "Yo, bro, I didn't know you were in so and so game, They took his image, took his face, and scanned it in, and never paid him for it.
Yep. That's the thing.
Yeah, isn't that another big sticking point? Is like AI and all that technology. Yep. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: if they can steal our skill sets and steal our face, we're obsolete. They pay us only for that one time, and that's it. That's not fair.
Absolutely agree.
So, I mean, like I said, didn't want to get political there, but there's that.
I don't think people being paid fairly is political. I just think it's a decent human being thing to do.
I mean, these guys have so much money, they could easily just fix it in one simple go, but I get it. It's politics. There's got, the little workarounds, and I get it, but to me, it just feels like there's just a lot of greed there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We are all kind of feeling that way, and most people stand behind you guys, and I'm definitely one of them.
And, with SAG, I'm just glad that they're just trying to take care of people as best they can. That's, the only thing. So whenever I can, I'm always at one of the strikes. I'm always at one of the pickets as best I can. Because this is where it counts.
Oh yeah, I'd say pretty much everyone is behind you guys. It's ridiculous. Just we're
making this film is kind of an outlet for you too, right? For your creative juices as well, at least.
In all honesty, it's actually more for my team, not me. How I like to lead my team is how I learned in Hong Kong. I have to take care of my team because they need it. So if I can get them paid a little bit, I'm doing it. Doesn't matter how hard the work is. Doesn't matter what I have to do because it's my team. Because without my team, I'm nothing. So it makes no sense for me to let my team sit in the middle of this strike and starve and get hurt and not be able to give something to them. We all are trying to work. We're all trying to do our best to survive. If I have an ability to do it, I want to do it. And that's, spawned from something from Wouldn't Be Cool. And there's one other person I forgot to mention, and I have to give her a huge kudos. Her name is Janet Wong, and she is literally been the heart and soul of our team. She is a stunt woman in her own right, but she acts as our UPM, which is a unit production manager, and she's been making sure that everything that I don't know gets done. She's the one who made sure our budget is set enough where everyone gets paid. In the original budget, I actually tried to be sneaky and not get myself paid. Like, I actually took myself off the entire budget list and everything. And she came at me so hard, like an angry mama bear, screaming at me, like, how dare you do that? I'm like, do what? I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, no, you deserve to get paid too. I'm like, well, no. I'm like, look, if everyone gets first, I'm fine. I can take scraps. I can take levers. She's like, no. And she sat down, wrote it down. She's like, look, we worked it out. 15,000. We're set. Everyone will have a little bit part of the pie. So she's, without her, I would totally be lost. And again, I'd probably be suffering even worse, but she's there looking out for me while I'm trying to look out for my entire team. So Janet is amazing. She's currently on a vacation because she's been going full blast for I don't know how long. So she's taking her vacation. She's coming back on Tuesday to help out again. But yeah, she's been helping out. She's been amazing. But that's the truth is, yes, there is some aspect for courageous, but in reality, it's just me wanting to take care of my people and getting us paid in work.
Even better reason.
Oh, yeah.
I did have a question. So if I've read right, you guys are filming in around Houston, Texas, yeah?
Yep. That's because Jan's from that area. She's helped us secure a couple major locations. Now, we can't have a Batman film without a shot of the Batman, right, guys?
Yes.
So she her day job works as a real estate agent. So she knows all these really nice locations, such as a gigantic mansion that we get to possibly use. Nice. And, and a couple other things that we're going to be using. So that's our plan, is to use Houston, Texas as our area. Our filming dates is not concrete, but we're looking at late to the end of winter to the beginning to mid-spring. And we're wanting that because it's going to be nice and cool. Because I don't want my guys to be in full gear trying to fight and then all of a sudden, fall down from heat exhaustion. So if it's going to be cool in the night, in the evening, it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Kind of build in Batman, a little bit. People expect night fight scenes and stuff.
Yeah, well, this was also we're also having a guy to carve us up a Court of Wild labyrinths. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we're doing what we can.
But the most important thing, how long do we have to get on board with this Kickstarter?
23 days left.
Okay.
So not a lot of time, but just enough. If, we have a whole bunch of, perks that we're giving out on the Kickstarter. So we're going from custom-made batarangs from each of the Bat family as some of the items. We're going from GCBT wanted posters that we're going to be. So if you do jump in on this, we're actually going to be making those posters and putting them up in the middle of the film. So you guys will, if you're eagle-eyed enough, you guys will see yourselves on there. We'll get a call out or a shout out.
Phil, you don't need to be in another Batman movie.
You can't see me in that one.
You get a call out or shout out from either from Kevin Porter or Kevin Caliber. Definitely we put you in the credits, signed autographs. One of our big items is a digital copy of this film. Now, here's the thing. And this is going to sound really, really mean, but you will understand this. I'm not putting this out on YouTube anywhere. Not for a while. This is only going to be premiered only at Comic-Con. So which means if you guys jump on this, do that thing, you'll be one of the few people that will actually have a copy of this film.
Wow, exclusivity, kids.
Yep. And then I got a buddy. He's out in Colorado. His name is Brent, and he's making a custom 6-person old school NES style beat 'em up Batman Soul Gotham game, where you can play one of the 6 main characters.
Wow.
So, and that's a little $5 add-on that we put on there, so you can get that. And if you go to the higher tier, you'll get a physical copy of Batman Soul Gotham. So that's what we're offering. I know to a lot of people it doesn't sound like that, but it is something when it's this exclusive in what we're trying to do.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. I mean,
yeah.
You don't get that with Hollywood's not offering that with any of their movies,
Well, Hollywood's got the money, man. That's just not
I know,
fair.
and they're not offering any of these extras,
I'm sitting here looking at them like, man, if I just got a quarter of what you guys did, what I could do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could make something just absolutely terrifyingly amazing, but nah. But, we're also doing not just the Batarangs from the Bat Family. I forgot. That's on me.
No, there's more.
You get a choice. Depending on the package, there's the Talon package or the Bat Family package. They're technically the same thing, except with the Talon package, you get one of the custom throwing feathers of a Talon.
Wow.
So
Justin, you need this.
Oh yeah, we have a friend who loves owls.
Or if you go with the Batman pack, you get all of the Bat Family throwing items.
Wow.
So I try to make it where it's fair and it's something that people can get excited for. But yeah, those are some of the perks that we have.
Sounds good.
Oh, I know.
You get fully funded. And do you have any if you guys do hit it, do you have any stretch goals or anything like that?
Anything extra is just extra. That's just how I view that. Is if we get extra and we blow past it, I would like to use that for print material, which means it's more stuff for the fans, actually, for everyone. That's stuff for when we go out to conventions. Make sure we have print items to give away, cards, QR codes, all of that. One of my biggest things is the other way to basically, if you can't make it to the Soul of Gotham premieres, but you can make it to the convention, we will be I've been talking to a few friends to make a little flash drive with the movie on there. So you guys can actually pick up a physical copy. And again, since I can't sell it, I can't make money off it, that's an item that I'm just going to be essentially handing out.
And I know you said you're going to be premiering that at 4 cons, but I mean, are you looking for more cons to be like, oh, hey, come, just come and guest and, maybe do a panel or something with the cast?
I'm hoping to have the sit-down meeting with Fan Expo to see if we can do that. But again, I want to be able to show them that we have the money, we have the product, we have everything ready to go, because that's, it's business. At the end of the day, it's still business where they have to see that we're a viable group. So that's why it's like I need to have everything set in place. If I can, I would love to do smaller conventions over big conventions. Big conventions are a little too corporate-y for my taste. No offense again, now I'm trying to be political, but I think small conventions who are just run by fans, run by the mom and pop shop who's giving back to the community, that's where I think it's where it's really at. So if I can get a hold of more of those guys, I would love to be able to work with them, collaborate with them, figure out what we can do to make this a thing.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right, Lilith, do you have any other questions, or should we let Gary get back to the? I'm sure the 50, the 50 tasks he has on his to-do list tonight.
I am not sleeping tonight. I have to go through photos and images to make the poster, a better poster, and then I have to, as soon as I'm done with that, I have to go over the script again to fix up all the glaring mistakes evidently I have. Bad spelling, because I was like I said. Grammar and spelling, I know it's important, but come on, guys. I'm trying to type while I'm trying to fight. So I have to do all that first, then the poster work, then I have to review the musical score. Oh, by the way, which is something else. Simone Cilio, need to give him a quick shout out. He reached out to us from Italy because he has worked with Kevin Caliber and he's designed music for us.
Wow.
And I'm just like, bro, I can't promise you I can pay you because we don't know if we're hitting our goal. And his entire thing was, doesn't matter. If you guys can, you guys can. If you can't, you can't. I'm here in it to win it. I'm like, all right, man, let's make this work.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Batman, a lot of people's favorite character.
Yeah, I mean, great character, great in-depth story. So another reason why we wanted to make this work for everyone. But not going to sleep. I mean, I thank you for the thought, Lilith, but this is not in the cards for me right now.
Okay, so the easiest way then is to go to the Batman Soul of Gotham Facebook page, and then there's a link to the Kickstarter there.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Batman Soul of Gotham Facebook. That's primarily our main way of pushing on it. You can also find links to it from our stunt team page. Rising Star Stunt Team. That's also on Instagram, so you'll find little bits of it here and there.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure you've noticed. Batman Soul of Gotham Facebook has been posting on a lot of different Batman groups.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to do is just garner to the fans.
All right, everyone. There's your homework. Go support this. Get a great new Batman movie and a bunch of extras. If you kick in the money, get a bunch of extras. So make it worth it. Literally, blood, sweat, tears, injuries. I mean, they're pouring everything into this movie.
Yep. And Phil, I will send you a copy of the finalized Nightwing teaser fight.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. And just if you want to send me, you have my email, send me any links you want me to put up. I'll put them in the show notes for this episode. So
sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. So
thank you.
Thank you for
great to meet you guys.
Thank you for giving us what little time you have in between tasks.
No, thank you. This has been great.